to Lead Live, reminding you of your personal genius and how you think in order to actualize what you desire.
Hello, hello. Actualizing your desires. Wow. Wow. Lead Live. Lead standing for Leadership Excellence and Achievement on Demand. We're so pleased to be here with you again. And our topic today is just because we can. Dreaming big, winning big. I want to begin by saying gratitude, special gratitude to you. You expect the best, you create healthier conditions, you envision wonderful conditions for all. You share authenticity with the world. You opt to be with integrity. You give in unconditionally. You know that you're part of something awesome and you're ready to deliver on your promise you made as spirit, now in human form. Together, we're creating greatness, folks. Really. Yes, I understand there's a lot that's happening around us, always. And it really is a constant reminder of our capacity. Think about it, our capacity to be all that and much more. Business leaders in all roles, business owners, entrepreneurs, agents, executives, division and unit heads, frontline professionals, educators facilitating learning, elected officials enhancing policies, leaders among our diverse workforce, family members nurturing growth and well being, all of us honoring folks, honoring our inherent capacities, capabilities. I love to imagine possibilities. I don't spend all my time in my head, but I love to imagine possibilities in ways where I feel those possibilities and I actually see them manifested long before others can see them. I remember I was living in a space and I was redoing, and one of my loved ones, my goddaughter, came over to help, a dear friend came over to help me clean the place. And neither one of them wanted to clean the place because it was a little bit too much. And they found a very humble, loving way to get out of helping me to clean the place. And I'll never forget my goddaughter says to me, she says, I know you can see, suggesting I can't see what you can see. I know this place will be transformed because I know you. Envisioning, being able to have a vision, see that vision based upon the imaginings. And we all have that wonderful intellectual faculty, and that's imagination. And when we feel that with a burning desire, oh my goodness, the vista is ours. So when I imagine possibilities, which I love to do, I always ask myself the question, what am I going to do to make it happen? And I imagine world peace. I imagine ubiquitous win-win values. I imagine all of us as human beings understanding at some level, different levels, we're all diverse, our inherent connection and the degree to which one is healthy, we're all healthier. The degree to which one is free, we're all freer. We don't live as an isolate, although it may feel like it at times. I mean, we may prefer that. We need each other. And so I love to imagine possibilities. What can I do that brings value to you? It's my question always to myself. No one requires I ask that question. I'm inspired by the wealth that surrounds us. all of us in richly diverse settings, in deserts, gorgeous deserts all over the planet. I remember being Joshua Tree and seeing the succulents and the natural, growth. It was amazing, spectacular. I remember thinking, desert, what's out there? Much is out there. It's easily taken for granted. And then when you're in places where there's caverns or there's places where you go deep and you can hear the wind move and swirl around you, and then see some of the trees on the hillside, or there's mountains, terrains, see them move as though they're talking and in their own way. That communication has an effect on everything around it. See a tree in one location and then understand the nature of that tree and know that its roots are deep and connected to many other trees in the areas that seem to be isolates. Our farmlands, in rural settings, in villages, in skyscrapers, in the ocean. Wow. Dreaming big, winning big, just because we can. Very compelling. A child tends to dream big. I've spoken with many kids in my short life of 64 years. As a kid, I remember talking with my brothers, and I remember listening more and observing more. And as I got older, I'd listen and observe more. And kids tend to just tell you exactly what they think. And ideally, the environment is welcoming, even if it's kind of strange what they say. It reflects what they think. But typically, they're reflecting what they feel because their cognitive faculties are developing. They're really focusing on what they feel. And so it's curious. I remember years ago in a conversation with one of my nephews, and I remember him pressing on me some things he had to do before he was 35. Had to do. He's a teenager. It's like, cool out, cool out. It's okay. You've got time. And his thing was the urgency of now. I don't have time. I got it happen. It's got to happen. It's got to happen, Aunt Tina. Call me by my middle name. And so part of that discussion was, what's in your future? What would you enjoy being, feeling, and doing? And he was clear, absolutely crystal clear about his feelings and his beliefs about his future. In fact, when he told me that he must accomplish those things, it was with that intensity that I referenced earlier, a strong desire to manifest it all before it was age 35. Well, here's the deal, folks. 2 days before he was 33, he had manifested it all. And without going to all of his private stuff, and if he watches this, he knows who I'm talking about, he literally earned all 3 of those degrees. His baccalaureate degree, his MBA, his law degree. He literally found the love of his life across the country. He wouldn't have found her, literally. He had his first child, a boy, before he was 33. He did it all. There was more. Going into the military and having that help to pay for his education. So much more, folks. The powerful thing is that burning desire, that clarity of conviction was not thwarted by those around him, even though somebody might thought he was unreasonable, unrealistic. He has an awesome mom who, in her remarkable way, gave him the freedom, even though there was structure, there were rules, and some of them uncomfortable, I'm sure, for all the kids, just like all of us experience to some degree. And yet, he didn't waver. He's got an awesome dad. He's got awesome aunts and uncles, friends, cousins, grandparents. I mean, I can go on and on. The bottom line, he saw as a child his responsibility for himself. He took accountability. He took action. He followed his feelings and he manifested. Now, years later, awesome wife, children. Life is amazing. So, why do I tell you that story? I tell you that story because that story is a reflection of all of our capacity. In fact, I posed similar questions to others, nieces and nephews, and with a similar kind of clarity, they were feeling exactly what they wanted, independent of whether they chose to change their trajectory or remain on that same course. And yet, when I was in higher education and working with adults, young adults, and adults middle age, so called up middle age, and even elders were coming back for university studies to achieve milestones. What's so interesting is that it was as though those feelings with the intensity and clarity had been muted, silenced, or lost, or maybe never even there from their perspective. And so the questions, while comparable, not the same, were posed in my role, my various roles over the 38 years I worked in higher education. Most of them said, I'm still figuring it out, or I think this, or I think that. Fewer said, with clarity, this is what I'm going to do. And I wondered what happened between what likely was the case when they were a young child or even a teenager into adulthood that caused them this level of ambiguity or tentativeness about pursuing what they envisioned to be in their best interest. So, folks, I wonder if children see possibilities, and because of the programming, the socialization, our exposure to so many things that suggest that we're only supposed to take one track or another track, we get socialized out of or programmed out of the inherent gifts we have, the inherent priorities we have, feeling wise and then thinking wise. Whether that's the case or not, I'm here to remind us of the what I think is the obvious, probably to a lot of us now, that we get to do what we want to do. We get to dream big should we want to. And the powerful thing about dreaming is that we get to dream what we want. It makes us feel fulfilled. We get to imagine it in a way where we actually see the discrete pieces. We get to let it, wow, grow, where we begin to take action. We get to be open to possibilities when people come into our lives and say, hey, I'm thinking about this. And you're like, wow, that's exactly what I'm thinking. And we don't remain silent. We open our mouths and say, wonderful, I'd love to join you on that journey. And you can make transparent, it's your journey too, or you can simply join. The powerful thing is that once we make a decision about anything, the universe conspires to make it happen. Think about it. Each one of us have thought about something or someone and they manifest. Not surprising when you understand that that is just the nature of life. When you understand the cycle of life, when you understand what makes things happen, when you understand that we are inherent creators from the creator, wow, then you don't sweat much. Yes, you do. You're concerned when you're having distractions or barriers or roadblocks or people upsetting you. And then you begin to say, well, wait, are they upsetting me? They may be upset themselves, but I don't have to let them upset me. I'm responsible for how I feel. And that's the bottom line. The four fundamentals. Time we have is now. We get to decide. We are our beliefs. And we literally are creating all the time. There's many more fundamentals Just like there are a lot of universal laws, independent of our belief systems, they're going to function. The law of vibration, the law of attraction, the law of oneness. There's so many more. Law of collaboration. The whole notion of what you put out, you get back, and you get back in abundance. There's a law for that. There are all these fundamentals, and the degree to which we understand that we are operating, whether we want to or not, within those universal laws. And when we choose to be in alignment with those universal laws, wow. The dreaming big manifests big, winning big. That's what I want to remind us of. Yeah, there's so much more I want to share. I just want to remind us of our capacity to do as my nephew did, to do as all of us are doing actually every day. What we believe, we're recreating over and over and over. So, what are you believing? What are your beliefs? When I believe that I'm inherently good, I feel good. When I believe that I am unconditional love, I feel love. I treat myself in unconditional ways. Quite frankly, I was doing that with other people because I felt like other people were so critical to my well being. I know that now. And I didn't really necessarily understood while I was driven externally initially. And now I am leveraging the internal strength, independent of the external, to be the best with all that appears to be external. And the operative word is appear, because we create illusions and delusions all day long. It's part of our being creators. The powerful thing is to recognize that at the beginning and end of the day, everything is interrelated, interconnected. There's synchronicity even when we don't think that's the case. So when we think a thing, when we imagine a thing, more importantly, when we powerfully feel a thing, we act on that thing. The thing is always manifested. So don't be surprised when you decide to dream even bigger. Your winnings become bigger. When you feel that it is part of a burning desire and you take action consistent with that. And that means being open to possibilities. So people will emerge, they'll just show up out of nowhere. Or like the key that's always there and you're looking for your keys and they're right in front of you, you'll begin to see the antidotes that you need, solutions to problems you have. You'll see the how. You'll see the path even more clear that you'll be able to take. You'll see the roadblocks and you'll see the means through which to actually clear those roadblocks and advance forward. Folks, if all of us understood how powerful we are now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, and yes, we were much more powerful before the known history, and we're just learning how powerful we were. We just chose to be the essence of who we are. Life itself would just be switched, transformed. We take that transmutation of energy, which is one of the universal laws, and create the realities that actually serve the greatest good. All of humanity, all life, animal, plant, goodness, edify everything in all the oceans, in the sky, in the air. I smile. And even when I'm not smiling, my heart is so big with a big smile because we have the capacity to knock it out the park now. And that's my role, is to remind us. Let's go ahead and do it now. Doesn't mean that we harm ourselves. In fact, we should be edifying ourselves along the way. We should be happier. We should be more joyful. You don't have to show it, necessarily with a kumbaya moment, that we should be walking with a pep in our step, with pride in our stride, our backs erect. Whether we're wheelchair bound or we're having to crawl because we still have yet to walk, or we're running. There's a power in each one of us. Wow. We are one. We're part of an awesome experience. We're capable of transmuting ourselves. In fact, growth is essential to our lives. You think about some loved ones, and I remember experiencing this many years ago, back in the 80s. People would retire, and within 6 years, they were gone. They would retire from life, not just retire from their jobs. And I mean, no more reading, no more thinking, just kind of existing. Well, then what's life about? We're vibrating and have the capacity to vibrate at levels that exceed what seems normal. The higher our level of vibration, the more efficient and effective we are in manifesting the milestones or goals we've established. Higher level of vibration. We're going to come back and delve deeper, just talking about vibration itself and what that means. So it's more practical. We're creators, enabling us to constantly evolve as a species. We're healers. We're able to break through barriers, roadblocks, egregious conditions, and pain to emerge as the leaders we are created to be. We say here at Lead Live that we believe that everyone has the capacity. I understand we're all different, we're in different spaces, but we have the capacity to be the CEO of our own lives, the chief executive officers of our own lives. It starts with feelings, the subconscious level, the emotional mind. It is powerfully impacted and driven by the conscious mind. You heard what I said? Starts with feeling. You got to feel it. If it doesn't resonate, what's the point? Because you can think and you can plan and you can write all day long. And many of us know we write down our plans for a day, for a month, for a year, for the next year, especially with New Year's resolutions. And at the end of the year, like, didn't achieve that. Let me do that again. Short of changing at the emotional level, didn't matter all the wonderful, solid, practical, procedural, written plans. You gotta feel it. You gotta commit to that. And if it doesn't, you don't feel it and it's really what you want, figure out a way to feel it. And again, we're going to come back to that as a major discussion related to the law of vibration. Dreaming big. Dreaming big. Before we go to dreaming big, let me just say something. Scientists are learning much more about the human body. So, and the medical doctors likewise. And I have loved ones who are medical doctors. They're genius of people. I wish I had their talents in some of the areas, not all the areas. I just need them to be their best. I don't need to know everything they know and do everything they do. Yet many medical doctors are realizing what they've learned in formal education within the medical schools was so short of what reality is, the science is showing. Well, we have a tendency of thinking that once we have a DNA, that's our DNA. Or we believe once our body is structured a certain way, we only have a finite number of cells. Well, we found out, well, scientists have found out, and I'm studying their findings, is that literally the body can transform all the time. I'm 64, and undoubtedly, I may not have one cell in my body that I had when I was at birth, because the cells are constantly growing, constantly getting rid of old cells, and we're nurturing and developing, if we're taking care of our temple, new cells. So people say to me, oh my goodness, you're 64? And I don't know what 64 looks like. I think I look like 64. People say, no, you look like you're 40, or you look like you're 50, or you look like you're whatever. And the powerful thing is, I'm not static. So in a year, I expect to look younger. Not because I'm doing anything artificial to my body. I don't have to. It's my mindset. It's my expectation. It's my feelings. It's what I'm doing to cultivate those new cells, to rejuvenate, So I'm healthier than I was a year ago, than 2 years ago. Oh my goodness, 3 years ago. Yet I'm not as healthy as I'm going to be. And I expect to be even healthier than I was as a teenager because of what I'm doing now. And so it's whether it's health or whether it's financial health or whether it is fun health, or most importantly, faith related health, family related health. We get to work on it. We get to contribute to it. We get to emotionally commit to whatever the manifestation we expect to experience, we want to experience, we want to share with the world. So dreaming big, winning big, doing so just because we can. What do you imagine when you hear dream big, win big? What are you imagining when you hear dream big, win big? Think about it. Feel it. So, are you thinking about a person, hiring an extraordinary executive, or safeguarding your child to ensure that she grows into this magnificent being that she already is because you're honoring who she is now? Are you thinking about a thing, buying an estate for your home, for your family? Are you thinking about a place, traveling to destinations around the world, around the country? Are you thinking about an event, your wedding day, or the day that you're going to propose, or the day that you are going to build your business, or the notice you're giving to your family that you've built the legacy for them and you want them to understand? Or the millions of customers who are now buying your products and services? Are you thinking about a big event? What about a business big event? Beyond opening that business, bringing in millions of customers. What about a legacy where you're hiring hundreds of thousands of people across the country? And those folks are part of the business because they're shareholders. Wow. You're doing something that some companies have done, some corporations have done. You are looking to do it big where ultimately millions of lives are affected, potentially billions, where everyone has a stake in growing and adding value. Are you dreaming big to win big? And of course, and I say of course, because hopefully you all know this, the degree to which we help others, because it really gives us a sense of fulfillment. We love it. We enjoy it. It's part of our real desire to be. We're giving to ourselves in a big way. So think, imagine big. I want each one of us to win big. So I'm imagining you experiencing all that you want. Yeah, that assures your well being and that of so many others who benefit from you being your healthiest, remarkable self. And I don't mean I have a vision of what that means for you. I mean that you've cultivated within you, you've clarified what that is. You're able to declare it independent of other people's understanding of it, beliefs about it, or desires for it. You're able to be transparent with yourself. Wow. I see and observe abundance for everybody. And it's easy for me to do that because you know what I do when I walk with my dog, Bosco? He'll be 8.5 years old tomorrow. I feel very fortunate to have him. So when I see him, I walk with him, I play with him, He stares at me and gives me his smile, or lets me know that he's happy, or even a little bit frustrated with me because I'm not doing what he wants me to do at that moment in time. I'm reminded of abundance. And when I look at the ocean, in fact, out here at the lagoon, when I look at, wow, streams of rolling hills, I guess streams of rolling hills, or just rolling hills, mountainous areas. I look at cities and the different architectural structures. And I reflect on the builders, those who, with sweat equity, with architectural plans, with other designs, with the designers. I reflect on their gift to all of us in the various diverse ways. I think about the clear sky, the oxygen I take in, the water I'm able to consume, highly balanced alkaline water without chemicals, neighboring planets. Wow, the stars, the universe. And then the countless materials we're able to rely on, resources we can leverage, let alone people, technology, beyond technology, just the fundamentals that people have provided that allows me to get from one place to the other. Even if I didn't want to go anywhere, allows me to experience others. Wow. I'm wealthy. I'm wealthy. I have more than what I need. I have what I want. Wow. I think about my brothers and sisters. I think about the family I don't even know. I think about my birth mother, who didn't even have to give me birth. She was harmed. I so appreciate the fact that she allowed life to come through her. Wow. So much to be grateful for. Because I know I'm already wealthy. I'm not striving to be wealthy. I already am. What I'm working to do is to enable that other people understand that they're manifesting too. And they already have manifestations of what they need. And they can do more to get more of what they need and definitely want. So I'm wealthy that I can do that. Wow. Think about us. These gifts are an endless supply. I think about weeds that grow beautiful flowers. I was with somebody many years ago, and we would take these hikes and go to different places, and we were pointing out things. Oh, blackberries! We would go for blackberry hunting. Just pick blackberries, put it in some water, and dip it in, and oh my God, get blackberry drunk, right? And thinking about there were some beautiful flowers. I said, "Oh my God, these are gorgeous. What is this?" And the person who's learned, I was a horticulturist, said, "That's just weed." I'm like, wow, these beautiful flowers from weed. And the same way we're dismissive of people. Oh, that's just, and that just has inherent beauty, greatness, power, capacity. How can you not see that in every living thing? Because I can see it. I honor it. I honor you. It's just natural. And quite frankly, it's so funny because I've been told over the years, especially when I was younger, but even now, that I'm a little soft. Um, you could be a little stronger, and those are constructive criticism based upon what people observe. What they don't observe is the strength of understanding. What they don't observe is the fact that this human being was not supposed to be here beyond the age of 20. Now I am beyond the age of 20, so I don't need to think about that. But for rational reasons, was not supposed to be here. What they don't observe is that there's strength behind that unconditional love. It allows me to share that unconditional love, even when it's in support of a detractor, even when it's in support of someone who's intentionally tried to harm someone I love or myself. There's strength behind, there's power behind, there's absolutely remarkable, transformative energy behind unconditional love. In fact, that's where growth comes from. That's where wealth, real wealth, comes from. Yeah, there's a temporary wealth that's there, and it's fleeting, whatever it is. Yet there's a permanent wealth that comes from unconditional love. And when you understand that, all the stuff, faith is more solidified, family deeper, richer, heart, you can't tear them apart. You don't need to, you don't want to. And you lean in even to them when they don't understand you and think you're a little bit kind, strange, weird. That's okay. Or worse off, they think you think you're all that. Well, here's the good news. I am all that. But so are you. Everyone is all that and more. We're what we choose to be. We're powerful. There is no way to measure us. Scientists have said it for years. They don't know the true capacity of the mind. And that's why we've got to be careful with putting things in the body. They don't know the true capacity of the body. It's a self-healing machine. That's why we got to be careful what we put in the body. They don't know the true capacity of our minds, which is even outside of the body. It's not just in the body and every cell of the body. And the heart that sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends signals to the heart. It's not just in the brain. It literally emits energy outside of the body, suggesting that it is just a temporary housing space in the body. The mind is powerful. And it's more than just an intellectual mind. It's a spiritual mind at its core. It's an emotional mind in human form. Wow. It's a physical mind. And we understand the complex nature of ourselves. Oh my God. Responsibility, accountability, decision-making, action, results, all align. We get things done. So I want to say to you, as someone said many years ago in his music, growing roses in concrete. Think about it. Just awesome stuff coming out of concrete. And yet, was the whole point of concrete? Was to ensure nothing would come up. And yet all you have to do is time. Everything grows and penetrates everything. Just like water penetrates everything. It was, oh no, it won't penetrate, still give it time. Yes. Because what? Everything, nothing is actually solid. We know this. You look deep enough, there's holes in everything. Literally, there's no solid hand. There's literally vibration, vibrational pattern that keeps me in the same shape, keeps you in the shape that you're in. You break that vibrational pattern, then we can transform into something else. The powerful thing is that same vibration allows us, when we're operating at increasingly higher levels of vibration, allows us to more efficiently and effectively get to the ends we seek to achieve. We're here for a moment, folks. We don't know if that moment is for another 2 minutes, literally, another 5 years, another 10 years, 30 years, 40 years, 100 years. Folks used to live for hundreds of years. Before that, thousands of years. Now we're, according to the Bible and other religious and philosophical texts, at best, and even biological texts, at best, 125 years or 121 years. But here's the deal. Whether we're here for another moment or here for another lifetime or more, the key thing is we get to leverage it now. Experience it fully now. Love ourselves in it now. Be authentic now. So we here at Lead Live encourage you to dream big, manifest big. You're winning. You're always winning. The key thing is, are you winning at what you want? Believe after you've decided, after you've imagined big and been part of a experience that is ongoing all day long, weekly, monthly, yearly, of feeling deeply and passionately about what you envision that led to the dream, that led to the specific goals that you have belief that you're going to manifest because you're taking the actions and you're open to receiving the gifts of the how that informs your plans. Your path is awesome. I firmly believe we're all going to get to the same destination. And it's much more profound than what many of us, if not all, most of us, can imagine right now. We have different routes to get there, folks. And there's a reason. I don't purport to know the reason. What I do know is that we're more powerful beyond measure. Let's be our authentic selves to experience it. Isn't that going to be great? Watch out.